for Corten as a daycare provider. Americans pay the highest prices for prescription drugs in the world. Tonight, the fight to lower the cost continues.
Fox 9's Courtney Godfrey in our studio now. Courtney, you talked with a family who knows firsthand the difference between getting a prescription here compared to other countries.
Yeah, Kelsey, this Minnesota family spends about $700 a month on insulin for their diabetic daughter. But the same exact drug they buy here is a fraction of the cost everywhere else in the world. This discovery has prompted them to team up with Senator Tina Smith and push for legislative action.
In the summer of 2016, the Greenside family took off on a 9-month trip around the world. With a diabetic daughter, buying insulin overseas became part of the adventure.
You know, the first time that we tried this, we walked into a pharmacy and we said, you know, how do we get insulin? Do we have to go see a doctor? Do we have to have a prescription? And they said, oh, no, you can just buy it from us.
A pen that cost them $140 in Minnesota cost them $8 in Taiwan, $13 in Canada, $10 in Greece, and $14 in Germany.
It's exactly the same type of insulin. It's branded a little bit differently, but you can see from the pens themselves that, you know, I mean, it's exactly the same product. And I inject it into my daughter, and I know it works exactly the same way.
Greenside recently turned to Senator Tina Smith for help.
The big drug companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars lobbying in Washington, D.C., and you got to ask yourself whether that isn't having some impact here. So we got to push through that.
Smith has presented 2 bills this year that take aim at big pharma.
It's amazing how little transparency there is in how drug prices get set and what goes into that pricing.
The Democratic senator could receive support from across the aisle, with President Trump publicly committing to fixing the problem.
And we will not rest until this job of unfair pricing is a total victory for the USA. It will happen, and it's going to happen quickly.
Meanwhile, Greenside continues to pay big in the land of the free.
It's not the cost of the medicine itself. It's all of everyone else in between who's taking a cut of it.
Now, Senator Smith will be holding a series of health care roundtables across the state starting next week. The first one will be in St. Cloud this Tuesday. The senator says she wants to hear from Minnesotans so she can bring those stories back to Washington. All the details on those roundtables will be up on our website here shortly. Kelsey?
All right, thanks, Courtney. And coming up tonight, tropical storms gain power in the Atlantic.